30 miles an hour, about 1,500 RPMs. Getting up to 45, you'll see it sneaking up to 2,000 RPMs, and it doesn't seem to want to change into overdrive. It just stays right there. And then sometimes if you let off the gas, it'll have a little bit of a jerk to it, and it feels like the car is being held back. It's not running as smooth as it used to. Go ahead and let off the gas.
Can't let off too much.
Alright. That's good. Give it gas. So what that's led me to believe, I've looked this up, done some research. Either we have a transmission problem, which I hope that's not the case, or it's as simple as the input speed sensor or the output speed sensor. They're not communicating together with the computer well, so I've ordered some of those. We're going to put them in, and it did cost me about 50 bucks for both of them, and we're going to throw them on this 2009 Dodge Avenger XXT and see if that does the trick. Earlier, we cut off the car and then started it back up, and it seemed to be fine, but then it came back, and I think it changes all the gears, except it won't go into overdrive. And it just feels like the car is being held back. Best way to explain it. And sometimes when you let off the gas at coasting speeds, there's a tiny, tiny little jerk. You can feel it. You don't hear it, but you can feel it. And if you were to go up to about 50 miles an hour, this thing would be running 2,500 RPMs. Going up to 3,000 RPMs, and it doesn't shift into overdrive at all. So I'm gonna put in the speed sensors, and we're gonna see if this fixes the problem. Okay, got me a 1-inch deep well socket. That's what you'll need to remove it with. I had a 3/8 to a half adapter and an extension. And there's my new input sensor. I'll set it aside. I'll go down here and try to take that out. Okay, your input speed sensor can be accessed better from the top with the hood up. See, there's your solenoid pack. And the plug, and you see the little gray plug right behind it. Right here, that's your input speed sensor. Open the clip and unplug it. And see if I can get a better look at this. All right, there she is. She's unplugged. That's a pretty good look at it. We're gonna have to take that out and put the new one in, and we'll go underneath the car to do the output sensor, which is underneath all this. The air filter, you can't get to it from the top. You have to get to it from the bottom. All right, let's clear it up. All right, now we're going to just remove it. It shouldn't be in there tight. It's not. So I'm going to screw it out. You may have a couple of drops of transmission fluid come out. That's okay, it's not gonna be a lot, not enough to make a difference. All right, then I'm gonna screw the rest of it out by hand. I'm gonna take the old one out. A little aggravating to get to. All right, here comes the old one. And there's the old one. The O-ring. These things are magnetic. There's the old one. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to compare the new one to the old one and make sure they're identical. And they are. They're identical. It already has an O-ring on it, so I don't have to move anything over. I'm going to have to put this back in without cross-threading it. So make sure you don't cross-thread it when you put it in. And the best way not to cross-thread it is stick it in, give it about a quarter turn to the left, and then start screwing it in to the right. I'm going to screw it all the way in by hand. There we go. Then we're going to put the ratchet on it. We don't want to tighten it too tight because that's plastic. You don't want to break it. All right, let's see, where are we at? Just hand tight. All right, now we're gonna go down here and we're gonna plug it in. That is, there she is. So we got the input sensor in, and now we're gonna go underneath and do the output sensor. Okay, I got me one of these lights. I should have got one of these a long time ago. Helps you see in underneath the car and stuff. Has it it's pretty bright. It also has an emergency red flashing light. So I'm gonna put this up under, I'm gonna go underneath the front and we're gonna locate that output sensor and change it. Okay, there's my output sensor right there. And it's the same as the input sensor when it comes to removal and installation. So I'm gonna unclip it. All right, has a little tab on here that you lift up to get it off of the little knob it's stuck on. Just like that. And then it should come unplugged. All right. All right, so I'm going to take this out. All right. Let's screw it out by hand. It's a really simple job replacing the speed sensors. It's something that anybody could pretty much do at home. And there's my old one. Magnetic. See, I just stuck it there. All right, let's get the new one and install it. Here's our old one and here's our new one. They're both the same, but I did notice something unusual. This one's burnt.
That's it.
And see, this one's not. So that must have been my issue.
Yep.
Burnout output sensor. No, that does not look good. So we're gonna go back in with the new part. All right, here we go. We're gonna go back in with the new one. This is tough holding the camera, folks. A little bit of a quarter return to the left, and then we just screw her in. And make sure you don't cross thread it. And put it in hand tight. And then I'm gonna get the that 1-inch socket, and I'm gonna tighten her up, and we should be good to go. All right, now I got her in. Now I got to put the plug back on. All right. Gotta make sure it's lined up with my clip. It is. To me, this was the hardest part, is putting the plugs back on. There you go. All right, she is on. We are good. All right, we want to test her out. We're up to 2,000 RPMs. Change gears. Down to 1.5 like we're supposed to. Doing 40 miles an hour. And we're under 2,000 RPMs. That's where it's supposed to be. Letting off the gas. The transmission's not dropping as it downshifts. We don't feel no bumping. Giving it the gas. Down to 1.5 after gear change, which is correct. An hour, running 1 to 1.5 on the RPM gauge. So changing the input and the output speed sensors appears to have fixed the problem. Hopefully that'll save you guys a bunch of money out there trying to diagnose your transmission. So if you're having any of the issues that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, try changing the speed sensors, the output and the input. Do them both at the same time. Don't be cheap and do one. It cost me about 45, well, just 50 bucks for both of them. The output sensor costs more than the input sensor. Just go ahead and get those put in there, and comment down below if it worked for you. And thanks for watching.